I think the other things that I really wanted to talk about is what I see now around how life works, and what I share when I'm in front of somebody, whether it's a client, a group, a webinar like this, for me seems to be the thing that's helpful. So what that would be for me, I think, is there's three really simple things that I share with people, and then I let the conversation roll out from there, because I say them and often I get people go, really, you sure? But it's this for me. So those three things for me are that nobody is broken. We are absolutely whole and complete as human beings. We come with everything that we need, no matter what it looks like and no matter what our stories tell us. We come with everything that we need in any given moment. We have everything that we could possibly need. So that's always my first point, and that floors a lot of people. Really? Because it's quite a bold statement, isn't it, to say we're not broken and we absolutely have everything we need. But I have seen that time and again over the last 5 years, for me and with other people. I've really seen how that's true. That stands up as truth to me. And I always say these things to people and then invite people to see that for themselves, because it's easy for me to sit and say it because I've seen it and I've experienced it. But my invitation is always see where you can see that for you, because it's truth when you get that experience, when you have the experience of knowing you're not broken, knowing that you're whole and that you come with everything you need. When you have that experience for yourself, even if it's the tiniest of moments, once you've experienced that once, that's available. You know that's available for you. So that's always my first point. No one is broken. And then my second point, which I've alluded to a fair bit, I think, through my story, is that our experience and our reality is created by the power of thought. We are thinking creatures, and there's just no getting away from that. You know, and you'll have had experiences in your own life. You can be out having the most amazing day, and suddenly the thought pops in your head, oh, I think I left the oven on, and that's it. You're there, aren't you? You're at home, your house is burning down, and you know, at least that's where I go with it. I go from I'm having the most amazing day and I'm out and about and loving life, and oh, I've left the oven on, and by the time I get home my house will be gone. You know, because that is the power of thought, and that's how our experience comes to us moment to moment. It doesn't feel to me like we have huge amounts of control over that. A little bit like our breathing, it looks like we are being breathed, and occasionally you might spend 10 minutes having some time doing having a different pattern of breath, but it's not long before you've forgotten to control your breathing and you're just breathing again. And it looks the same to me with thought. We can spend a little bit of time maybe doing some meditation or concentrating on some positive thinking, those kinds of things, but it's not long before thought just carries on doing what it does, and we don't control that. And I wouldn't even suggest that you try, because it can be a thankless task. But what I notice around that is that the nature of thought is that it passes. We have a thought, like I might have the thought I've left the oven on, but 5 minutes later I can be thinking about the fact that I'm wading into the sea in my Wellington boots and life is amazing again, because that's the nature of thought. It passes, and it's designed to pass, and it's designed to give us a full-on experience, and boy do we get that sometimes. So that's kind of my second point, and I think I'm going to come back and talk a bit more about that, because that was the most powerful one for me. And then the third thing that I always like to share with people is that we have innate wisdom, that we have. I liken it to a sat nav in a car. I passed my driving test just over 2 years ago, and I rely a fair bit on my sat nav. Particularly now I live in Devon with all sorts of windy country roads that you can't make head nor tail of. I rely a lot on my sat nav. And one of the things for me is knowing that I have a similar thing. I have my own satellite navigation system. Life guides me, and in any given moment, it will help me and guide me. Whatever's in front of me, I have this wisdom that tells me what's the right thing to do. And again, one of the things I noticed when I looked back on kind of what had gone on in my life was how that wisdom was there, just this quiet voice in the back going, back. And through those 2 or 3 years where things were really bad for me and I was extremely anxious and stressed, there was this voice that was saying, this isn't quite right, something's off here, you need to do something differently here. And I heard that voice and I ignored it, because we're very good at doing that, aren't we? And much like with my sat nav, if I'm driving and it says turn left here and I think, no, I don't like the look of that road, I'll just keep driving and ignore my sat nav. And then it starts saying, turn around where possible. And our wisdom does the same. You know, it says to us, this isn't quite right, something's off here, go in a different direction. No, I'm perfectly fine. That's my voice, that's me saying, no, I'm perfectly fine here. And I keep going, and my wisdom just gets a bit louder and a bit louder sometimes. But what I've seen over the last couple of years is that wisdom is always available to me, and it's available to every single human being. We are all part of one system, and we all have that same wisdom that guides us, and we can override it and we do. But it has an amazing way of coming back and telling us what we need to know. And I see that in things like, for me, I get physical symptoms. If I'm ignoring my wisdom, I'll often get some sort of physical symptom, a headache or a tummy ache that literally takes me off my feet and says, enough's enough, you need to stop now. And we're incredibly well designed like that our wisdom has that way of bringing in what we need in order that we get what is the right thing for us and guiding us. And even when we override it, it will keep coming back. So that's always kind of my third point with people as I share, you know, listen out for your wisdom, because I guarantee it's there. So they're my kind of 3 pointers that I always share with people.